My name is Timi Aiyemo. I'm current software lead at MobiDocc. I've been here for quite some time now. The company actually started officially, MobiDocc actually started February this year. But we have been under an umbrella which started probably around 2010. I graduated from Futmina, studied computer science, finished in 2012, November. This is MobiDoc. MobiDoc is a real-time consultancy service that aims to link people with health and doctors. So the whole concept of it basically is to make health mobile so that your health goes where you go. That way, we get to actually ameliorate the current problems that are witnessed in majority of our health centers around the country. That way you don't have to make unnecessary trips. So it is making health diagnosis snappy, real quick. You don't have to make trips to health centers where you are. Your health matters can come and meet you right there. Your health concerns and solutions can come and meet you right where you are. So that's the whole concept of it. There is an inception and then there is an inception to that inception. We started about a year plus ago, where the main thought line actually started out. Someone just thought of a situation where instead of making trips to hospitals, why couldn't we have all these diagnoses right where you were in your living room? So lots of back and forth started at the time on the issues, how these issues will be handled, how these issues could be taken care of, how people can actually get better healthcare concerns through this system, how their concerns could be solved through the system. So that was back in the day, and then we started working on little by little putting things. There were lots of things that were overlooked at the time. Primarily because the Nigerian health system is skewed on so many levels. There are lots of intricacies, lots of restrictions, things that you need to always take into consideration. So lots of those things held us back a lot. But well, thank God, things are improving. The system is getting better. People are getting more aware of these things, and so we pushed forward. So it's around February this year, we decided that, okay, fine, it was actually time to actually hit the market. Well, it wasn't that hard to actually get investors, per se, because our primary investors were people who had been with us from our current investors were people who had been with us from the inception of the idea. So they liked it. But because they didn't really have the know-how, they just said, okay, fine, this is where we're going to meet you people. Do you understand? And so that was how we were. That's how we're able to actually scale to this point. So yes. And co-founders, how we're able to get our co-founders, that's a really, really long story. I do not know if you want us to go into that. We were a mixture of lots of things. Social media was one of them. Second was pure luck. I can say that our co-founders, the current team around MobiDoc, some of the most wonderful people I have had the opportunity of working with. Trust me, I've been working for a very, very long time. So And this has to be, these people, this set of people, this set of minds have to be the most direct, the most focused, the most dynamic, creative set of minds that I have come across. So yes, the house, I don't even know how to go into the details of the house right now, but I know social media played a great role in how some of these people came on board. MobiDoc is at the pre-launch stage. We're currently still collecting early access users and people who we're going to first of all use to test the weight of the system. That's the level that we are currently at. We've had some really good traction on the platform. The response has been wonderful, actually. So yes, we want to make sure that going forward, people do not have too many issues when getting their consultations, when getting their diagnosis, on their prescriptions, and things like that. So I want to make sure that the system is robust enough, it's heavy enough to actually contain that. So that's where we are right now. We're at the early access stage, collecting users and granting them access on a bit-by-bit basis before we now decide to. Usual challenges. It's an internet-based application. So yes, by default, resource, internet access is a major limitation in Nigeria. How do we meet the common man? The application is actually built to meet the most basic person. Because at the time when we were building it, actually, one of the things that spurred us in the direction that we went was a story. Someone came and told us about someone in Sokoto, a lady and her child, who could not afford 17 naira healthcare. It was that bad. So we looked at that and like, okay, somebody who cannot even afford 17 naira healthcare. These are the people that who would be the eventual end users, the eventual end beneficiaries of this kind of platform. As somebody who is struggling with that, how do you expect the person to afford something like internet? You understand? So we're looking into those levels too. So for one of the major limitations is the fact that the internet is not particularly cheap enough for most people. But like I said, the situation as of the time when we started this application the situation now is way better than when we actually started. Things are a lot cheaper. People have the amount of access to internet right now is growing. It has grown considerably. Lots of people have that. So that was a major limitation. Another limitation that we had was a paradigm shift for most doctors. How do you go from face-to-face diagnosis, face-to-face consults, to mobile consultations? Lots of doctors that we spoke with in the beginning had issues thinking about its possibility, but gradually, with time, they came to accept that, okay, well, this is actually something that would be interesting. Actually, it's not the first time that I've actually told Uncle Jimo in Kano that, okay, these things that you're telling me about, maybe this is the problem. So it's kind of very, very similar for them. So the problem actually for most doctors was relatability. They didn't really relate at first, but gradually when we explained the concept, they actually picked up. Another thing that has been a major problem, general resource has been a problem for us. Is it power? Is it meeting people? The Nigerian market is not very, very, it's not easy to break into. So yes, those are some of the things that's caused limitations we have. Meet the people. That has been our approach. Meet the people. We haven't done a lot of radio. We haven't done a lot of TV, but we have done a lot of social media. That's why when I say meet the people, that's what I mean. One would find a doctor on maybe Twitter or Facebook and hello, have you heard of? From there, we engage them in conversations. Gradually, there has been traction, there has been interest, there has been lots of wows, and okay, this is really good. So yes, that's what the marketing is. We're currently looking at multiple areas actually. Hopefully, in the next 2-3 years, even people without internet will be able to consult with doctors. You don't necessarily need internet. You won't necessarily need internet anymore to actually have a full-time consultation with any doctor in any part of this country. We're actually looking at disability features too. Into a situation where even blind people can be able to. So there's the telemedicine side where we're trying to go into voice and video to aid certain category of people. Those people who have issues with maybe arthritis, they can't type. Voice will be a lot better. We're trying to look into that. And yeah, so those are the expansion plans that we have. Firstly, build a good team. It's extremely necessary. A product is only as good as the minds behind it. There's no bad idea. I mean, something as basic as pure water is mad business. There's no bad idea. There's only bad execution. So firstly, build a good team. A good team will help you execute properly. That's usually the first thing. Secondly, seek funding. One of the biggest problems most people have is having proper capital to actually move. You see, this is that without capital, you're going to be distracted. You have a current project that you're working on. One guy comes on the side and says, hey, build this thing for me. You're going to dump the project because you need money. You're going to go and chase that one. Now, a good idea is suffering. So once you have capital to actually sit on your project, you'll be focused. It runs in contrast actually when you really think about it. Someone who doesn't have enough capital, how can the person build a good team? These are some of the push and pulls that lots of people suffer. We were fortunate. We are thankful. So we're thankful to God. We're thankful to the people who believed in the idea. We're thankful to the people who came around and joined us. Do you understand? We're lucky. It's not as easy for so many other people out there. But primarily, those are the things that I feel are the most important when you're talking about starting a business or you have an idea. The first thing is build a team around it. Your idea is not your idea. An idea can be can seem really good to you. But by the time you pitch it to 1 or 2 people, you begin to know how good that idea is. By the time you get 1 or 2 people to actually join the system. 2, okay, yeah. So I've mentioned 2 things now. I think the third one is actually take criticism. Like I said, there's no bad idea. There's only really horrible execution. So if you have an idea and you're receiving lots of negative feedback, you should already know where to use that negative to channel your idea to. Criticisms are like sandpaper. They smoothen out a surface and they make that thing better. So depending on how you take criticisms, that would say how good your product will be at the end of the day or how bad it's going to be. So those 3 things: build a good team, source for funding, and take criticism as well. I think those are the main points that I would tell people to always go for, people who are starting businesses.